Hey everyone, this is Chase from Northern Illinois. I'm a certified personal trainer, and today I'm going to teach you a little bit about the oblique muscles and how to train them. So the obliques are one of the biggest muscle groups that are often overlooked in most people's core training routines. Your obliques are the muscles to the outside of your abdomen, and they assist in flexing the spine forward, rotating your torso, and laterally flexing the spine or side bending. So while the obliques do help with forward bending like in a sit-up, the more central abdominal muscles are doing most of the work during these moves. So these kinds of exercises aren't the best for increasing strength in your obliques. The exercises that I'll be showing you today will focus on rotation of the core and side bending movements that will really isolate those obliques. And you should always have at least one rotation and one side bending exercise in every ab routine so that you know that you're hitting these muscles. So the first exercise is going to be lying wipers, they're called, and these are going to isolate the lower obliques from rotation from your hips. So for this exercise, you're going to start laying flat on your back with your feet on the floor, knees bent, and your arms straight out to your sides. From here, you're going to leave your feet flat on the floor and bring both knees to one side without allowing this opposite side shoulder to raise up off the ground. So you're going to stop right before your shoulder starts raising off the ground, or if your knees hit the floor. And then from here, you're going to isolate that oblique, the lower half of the oblique here, by trying to tuck this hip up towards your rib cage. So you're going to squeeze up and then continue on to the other side. Squeeze up by bringing that hip close up towards that rib cage and alternating sides like this. And once these feel easy, to make it a little bit harder, you can start in the same position, and you're just going to make your upper legs perpendicular with the floor with a 90-degree bend in your knees, and then do the same thing going to the side, not allowing that opposite side shoulder to come off the floor, and then squeezing that hip up towards that rib cage. Getting a good squeeze there. And to make this one even harder, you can leave your legs straight and then go side to side in the same manner, still getting that same squeeze from the hip. Alternating sides like that. So for this exercise, do 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps per side and rest 60 seconds between each set. The next exercise is Russian twists, and these are going to be isolating the upper half of the obliques with rotation from your torso. So you're going to start sitting on the floor with your knees bent. And from here, you're going to slightly lean back, and then you're going to twist your upper body to one side, touching both hands to the floor before going the other direction. So for these, you want to really contract those obliques by keeping the lower back flat by tucking your upper body down. So you don't want your rib cage to be open. That'll be having a curve in your low back. You won't be hitting those abs very well. So you want to tuck those in, then lean back, and really turn that upper body, focusing on turning from that core and just lightly tapping the ground there. So to make this exercise a little bit harder, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to raise your feet a couple inches off of the floor and hold them up that whole time while pressing your feet together. You don't want to crisscross because that's going to change the angle of your hips on one side, so it'll be slightly tilted. So having those feet even, and then doing that same twisting motion while keeping that low back flat by tucking in the core. So you're going to do 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps per side for this one, and rest 45 seconds between each set. One of my favorite side bending exercises, which works your entire side, is side V-ups. So for this one, you're going to start lying on your side with your bottom arm straight out in front of you, and your legs are going to be stacked on top of each other. So you're going to have one arm behind your head here, and while focusing on the oblique muscle and really only using your bottom arm as needed, so you don't want to rely on this too much to really be pressing you upward. You really want to focus on that core as much as you can. So you're going to raise your upper body off the floor and the top leg off the floor simultaneously, and then come back down slowly. So again, you're just really focusing and contracting the middle here,
and I'm not really using my arm much to press up at all. And to make this exercise harder, you can raise both legs up at the same time while still only using that arm as needed to help with the upper body. So for these, you're going to do 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps per side. Rest 60 seconds between each set. So the last exercise works the obliques by having them isometrically fight gravity in a side plank. And isometrics is basically contracting a muscle without having it moving a body part. And they're great for building strength and endurance. So for the side plank, you're going to start lying on your side and prop yourself up on your bottom elbow so that it's directly underneath your shoulder here. Next, you're going to place your feet so that they're in a straight line down from your elbow, and then your feet are going to be stacked on top of each other. Now you're going to contract this bottom oblique here, and you're going to raise your hips up so that you're in a straight line here. You don't want your hips to be sagging too low, and you don't want them way up high. So you want to be in a straight line just like you were standing. Now if this exercise is too hard, you can bring the bottom leg's knee to the floor and hold that same position. So you're just bending this leg back, keeping the top leg straight, and still keeping in a straight line here, really getting the squeeze on the side here. And to make this one more difficult, you can go into that same plank position starting on your hand instead of the elbow to give yourself less stabilization. So that way you just want to make sure that the hand is going to be right under that shoulder, get the feet right in line with the hand, and then raising those hips up so you're in a straight line right down the middle. So for this one, you're going to do 2 sets of a max effort hold until your form fails on each side. And you're going to rest twice as long as you held each plank for between sets. So remember that your core is more than just the front and center abs, and strengthening your entire core is key for better back health. So you're going to want to add in a few of these exercises along with others from this month's student health issue to your next core day so you don't miss a muscle at all. Or you can do all of these exercises from this workout to really hit your obliques up to 2 to 3 times a week. I hope you'll enjoy getting some stronger obliques and quads, and I'll see you next time.